All right, and welcome back to Off the Beaten Quest. This is part 2 of session 66. This is part 2 of session 66, Rough Around the Edges. We're going to jump right back into it. Verity had another eventful part of her night, and then transitioned into what some could perspectivize as a romantic walk to her home with Omar, but that is still to be determined. And then the party rejoined, had some funny dialogue at the Glistening Grotto Tavern, and then subsequently decide what to do in the town of Beville. We rejoin our group of adventurers amidst those endeavors, and we will start with Eliana and Verity. So Eliana and Verity headed off back to Verity's home so that Eliana could potentially take a look at Verity's mother. And this is where we get back into it. So enjoy tonight's episode of Off the Beaten Quest.
Here it is.
What should I be expecting when I go inside?
Nothing too expensive, that's for sure.
Oh, I just meant like your mother.
Just she's in a lot of pain, no matter, like, even if you touch it, seems to be.
Okay.
It's hard for her to like walk and talk, and just doesn't have a whole lot of energy.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see what we can do about that. Okay.
We walk in and I kind of take her to Verity's mother's room.
Okay. It's as you walk into this like kind of modest home, it's very condensed floor plan. There's the main open room, as I described when Verity was there before. You are taken to one of the two doorways, kind of the one that's on the left, and you enter into Verity's mother's room. It's very, a modest room. There's some different furniture, and it's a little bit more, it's well kept, and clean and stuff like that. Nadine and Verity try to do a very good job of upkeeping the room. But there's different, washing cloths and kind of basins for different, water and, temperature things to put on her forehead and things. So yeah, you walk into the room with Verity.
What is your mother's name?
She forgot her mom's name, guys. Listen,
It's okay.
It's Mom.
It's just Mom. That's her name.
Mom. Ilma, I believe.
Okay.
You believe? Me when I write my character backstory document and then never go back to look at it again.
I have a whole family tree that I made up. Okay, Ilma.
Ilma, okay.
Her name is Ilma.
I'm gonna look over. I'm gonna timidly step into the room, see it. Is she awake?
She is in this feverish kind of half sleep, I would say. Kind of very much in pain and kind of just doing her best to keep her eyes closed because there's a lot of light sensitivity and stuff. The curtains are still drawn in as well as the shades, but it's still with the lanterns and stuff that are kind of illuminating the room a little bit, that there is still a good amount of sensitivity to a lot of different things as well as the light.
And as a reminder, she is human.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She gives a cursory glance towards Verity and the mom being okay. But she doesn't really think too much of it because she has a stepmom, so it's not the weirdest thing. So she's gonna approach the bedside and be like,
Hello, Ilma. I am Verity's friend, Eliana. And I heard you're not doing too well, but I'm gonna try and help.
Verity is...
I'm here. And she kind of grabs her mom's hand gently. This is Eliana. She's here to see if she can help you in any way.
Tell her not to trouble herself too much. It's kind of like this very like in and out. So what do you do to attempt to assess what is happening to this woman?
First, I am going to cast. I'm going to, first of all, place my own hand to like my chest, and a little wave of blue energy goes throughout, and I'm going to cast enhance ability on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm going to just take out my herbalism kit.
Okay.
And I'm going to just try like see if I can maybe like mix up like a mortal and pestle, you know,
Pestle and mortar. Yeah.
pestle
yeah.
and mortar. That's the
Yep.
word.
Yep.
Kind of try and like get up some herbs, like maybe some lavender, some chamomile, like things to like calm the nerves.
Okay.
See like where that goes at first.
Okay. Give me a performance check to make sure that mixture goes off without a hitch.
Can I make a nature or medicine check?
Oh yeah, medicine. That makes more sense.
Medicine.
You right. You right.
Okay, it's not great. That is an 11. Oh, wait, I get
Ooh.
enhance ability.
Yeah.
I get advantage.
Oh, wait.
That's much better. 26.
26.
Oh, my God. That is a lot fucking better.
So you put a mixture together of herbs and kind of like use the pestle and mortar to kind of make it into like a bit of like a salve. Mixing in a little bit of water to kind of give it a little bit of a paste kind of situation. And I would think that you kind of take it and kind of almost like put it a little bit like under the nose, kind of a little bit like
Yeah.
Vicks, where so it's kind of like starting to hit the senses and kind of
Love that.
versus like having them like to ingest it
Right.
versus you know because a lot of those herbs and stuff could be a pretty good like shock to the system versus this is just kind of like going off of like aromas and stuff to like it do
I think it's funny how I don't think either of us know how herbalism works, but Allie F is sitting over here and she's like, I know how herbs work, but we're just like, yeah, it does the thing.
Allie F knows how herbs work. Ira does not
Yeah.
at all.
Fake it till you make it, bro.
yeah so you do that and it calms the nerves and she kind of she seems a little bit less restless in the state of it, but it's still very much she's very weak and frail at this point. And you can see even though she's kind of like she's covered very well with like the blankets to kind of her torso that what given her age and how old she is, there is a sense of like you can see that there is a lack of like body weight and things like that, so she looks a little bit diminished. What do you do next?
See. Can I sense any sort of, just by looking at her in my little information I know about like the arcane kind of magic, or like divine magic, however, do I sense any sort of like magic conditions on her that may be affecting her?
Do you have detect magic?
I do not. That's why I was like, I don't know if I'd be able to.
I guess
try.
make an Arcana check just to see if there seems to be anything there. I would think that you could do that as a druid.
Oh.
Mm,
That's a 2 + 8. That's a 10.
damn.
Wait, no, I only have advantage on wisdom based skills.
From what you can tell, it doesn't seem magical,
Okay.
or at least there's no like spell kind of causing this. I would think.
Okay. As I'm, does she have any like open cuts or wounds? Anything like?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. What are you doing while this is happening?
Being through this a lot, she's just letting you do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anything I can do to help? Maybe. Possibly.
Wow.
Fucking pulled up her detect magic spell on her sheet.
Damn.
Don't call me out like that.
I was just trying to see if there's any, perhaps, magical reasons as to why she might be in this state. The lavender and chamomile seem to calm her down a bit, but
Okay. I mean, can you detect magic or?
I don't have that prepared currently today.
I feel like there's like a different type of detection, like a different kind of check you could. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to step on your toes. I'm just like looking at all of them and I'm like,
So if I were able to, like, see and tell you what I was seeing, could that help?
Yeah, that might help.
Verity's gonna cast detect magic on her mother for the first time ever.
Hey, Mom.
Okay.
What you got?
Now,
I'm scared.
you cast this spell,
Yeah.
and the magic that you see
Mm-hmm.
before describing this to Eliana is you see there is this like the same kind of like purpley shadowy magic that you've seen before, but it's kind of like almost like it's like flowing through her bloodstream. And you recognize this as what your patron is doing to keep her healthy or healthy enough. There is something connected with the magic that you've seen from the shadow entity and what is happening within your mother.
Okay.
In accordance to put two and two together, it's that you see the magic that is the shadow entity is using to, in the agreement that you've made, to keep her from diminishing further.
Okay, so I just see that then.
You see that. There's nothing that seems other than that. There's nothing that kind of rises to the surface as far as anything like that. You're seeing what you would assume is part of that.
I see stuff in her bloodstream.
Oh.
Like this glowing purple stuff.
Okay.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
hey,
19.
not bad.
19. You feel it like creeping up the back of your it's like almost like a tingling kind of in like the back of your like skull. And you guys can continue.
Verity does look like a mental middle finger.
I'm gonna try something else, a bit more magical.
Okay.
Let's see. Ilma, is it all right if I hold your hand?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I don't want to hurt you.
I'm going to take her hand very gently, cup it between my two,
Okay.
and a little like purpley, sparkly magic starts to like flow like up through her skin. And I'm going to try and cast Lesser Restoration to see if that does anything.
Okay. Eliana, make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no!
It's spreading. Oh no. That's a 15.
15. How much healing would Lesser Restoration do?
It doesn't do healing. It says you touch a creature and end one condition on it: blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
That's 4, right?
Yeah,
It's
those
listed?
are 4 conditions. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm not gonna go.
What's the
blind.
first one listed?
Blinded.
You can no longer see.
Oh shit!
No.
Like that's it? Like that's just,
Something.
bruh.
At least for now. At least for now, guys.
Jesus.
God, it's okay.
That's like a really
Eliana?
nonchalant way to just blind a PC.
I'm here for it.
Okay, that backfired a little bit.
Is everything all right?
I can't see right now.
Wait, what? What do you mean you can't see?
I cannot see.
Like you're
I try to turn to look toward Verity.
Okay.
okay. Yeah, no, you.
My
You-
eyes are like glazed.
You
over.
notice that the what once was colorful like irises in Eliana's eyes are now kind of like this white, kind of glazed over color.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'm gonna let go of Ilma's hand.
You can see.
Okay, so there is a direct correlation between whatever is happening in your mother and the affliction that happened to me.
Are you going to try and grab her hand again to
And
test that
see
theory?
again. Yeah. Let me make sure.
Nothing happens.
I mean, your eyes don't look any different this time.
Okay, maybe it was the casting of the spell. Maybe something is fighting it off.
Probably.
Um,
Maybe. Possibly.
okay, I'm gonna try one last thing.
Please don't hurt yourself.
Maybe two more things. Okay. So it's okay. I'm used to this sort of trial and error.
I can't heal you. I'm just letting you know.
That's okay. Okay. All right, Ilma. We're figuring this out.
I grab her hand again,
Okay.
and I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic.
Okay. What remind me of the effects of that spell?
Choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any ongoing spell of level 3 or lower on the target ends. For each ongoing spell of level 4 or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spell casting ability. On a successful check, the spell ends.
Okay. You cast this.
Yes.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Yeah.
Called it. Knew it was gonna happen.
I didn't think it was gonna work, but I was like, I'll try it. I'll try to do it. Oh, that's a 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I knew I had this for a reason.
Okay.
You know what? I'm just gonna roll with it. Okay. You can't cast magic for 4 hours.
Damn.
Does she
Well-
know that
And
it's
Dispel
for 4
Magic
hours?
didn't do anything, right?
It dispelled
Listening.
your magic.
Whoa, wait.
Backfired.
Do
So
I
it's above
feel
a
that
level
it's
3.
gone?
Yeah, you feel like there's a little bit of like a hollowness that you feel as you're again like a connection to like plants and the stars and like this kind of the weave is because it feels like out of reach at this point.
So I've concluded that whatever is happening
Yeah.
is kind of ricocheting back. So I tried to dispel the magic within your mother, and it dispelled it within me. So I don't,
What?
yeah, I don't like it either.
So
I- Don't know.
what do you mean it dispelled on you?
My connection to the weave is definitely severed, at least for now, and
Oh,
I'm trying not to panic about it.
I am so sorry.
No, I took the risk. So,
Okay. Well, thank you for trying. Again, that's okay. That's a lot more powerful than I thought it was.
yeah,
Okay.
you are dealing with some powerful magic.
I don't. There's a lot to unpack here. Maybe I need to just find a way to get rid of this thing, and then maybe we could try and do it the other way. That might be the way. Do you
know why your mother is like this?
possibly?
Okay.
Maybe. Like, originally, no. The reason for the part of the current state, yeah, maybe just a slight little bit.
I think I get what you're saying. I think I get it.
You do?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, all right.
Hey, Elma, I am so sorry. I couldn't help you more.
That's okay. You tried your best.
Yeah, I just, is your, Verity, is your sister, does she stay around?
I mean, she lives here. She's at work right now.
Okay, I guess you could tell her to leave some lavender and chamomile around to maybe soothe your mom's nerves when you're not here. It'll help at least a little bit.
Barry takes like a pen. What was that again? So I can write this down with the
Lavender
lab.
and chamomile.
How do you spell cam?
Oh, jeez.
CAMO.
I spelled that wrong. Okay.
MILE.
Allie G can't spell out loud. I have to write shit down.
MILLE.
Yeah,
There's
two
a double
L's.
L.
There's two L's. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. That's close, and I think I got the right. I can say it later. Yes.
Mm.
All right. Cool.
Well,
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
I think I need to touch some grass.
Okay.
I feel disconnected right now.
All right, it's out the door and then
Okay.
to the.
Okay. Meanwhile, Lukiel and Jax
Yeah.
Before they go, I want to talk to Colt.
talk to what?
Colt.
Cole?
Cole.
Okay.
The
I
squat.
thought you said Colt.
I thought so too.
Cole.
Okay.
I guess to spell it really quick. Hold on. Push the button. Just like kind of don't push the button. Okay.
Oh, speak with animals.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
Can you do me a favor while you're on your adventures today with Lukiel and
I
My love.
suppose.
can you scrounge up some acorns for me? I have a spell I want to try tomorrow.
How dare you?
Look.
Assume I am just some common squirrel?
Look.
I am above this.
Look. I'm sorry, bud, but this is honest.
I never.
Alyer is not exactly the greatest of foragers. You, I have seen, are very resourceful.
He's just staring at
Go on.
So I was hoping that you could use your skills in hunting and gathering to assist me. Because I admire your resourcefulness.
Lukiel's like, you don't really have to hunt for acorns.
I have to go to the dock and look at a dead body. Do you want to come? I don't have time to look for acorns.
I'm good, thanks though.
Yeah.
The fellow winged one makes a point. I do not have to hunt. But I guess, given your flattery, you've made up for such insults to my species. I stay above the ground. Those insolent things climb and have to forage around. We squats have a better way of getting food, but I guess I'll diminish myself to some lower.
What's your favorite food? I'll get you some at dinner.
Well, I don't really know.
Do you eat meat?
Not really.
No, yeah.
What do you eat then?
I mean, I eat food.
What
But what kind of food?
kind of food?
That's
Lo
like,
mein?
Badly,
edible food.
berries.
Oh my gosh.
I'll get you. I'll buy you an assortment of fine dining experiences this evening to repay you for your efforts.
Fine. I guess that should suffice.
And Ira bows her head at Cole,
Wow.
kisses Jax on the cheek, and then walks away.
Mom, you didn't have to do that.
You're with me today, bud.
Can Dawn make a comment? You know how like you like cut scenes
Yeah.
they like fade out. Dawn turns to Ira like as they're like walking away and like looks back and she's like, "Damn, that squirrel has so many opinions on acorns."
Could you hear him?
No, but I stood there for 5 minutes while he screaming me about them. I have no idea what he said, and I don't care to.
Apparently, I insulted him.
Mm.
So, Ira and Dawn head off towards the docks. Lukiel and Jax head off into Beville to explore and see what the village has to offer.
Oh, we sure do.
Where is it you would like to go? As you have walked through the town, I'll give you the things that you had already saw, kind of as you've experienced going from like the inn, coming from the docks, going to the inn, going to the grotto, because essentially it's kind of cutting through the majority of the whole town.
Okay.
You had seen the Karen's Cove Apothecary, the Iron Ember Smithy, the Wishing Wave Market, the Verdant Library of Sages,
Mm.
the Pearl Crafters Guild Hall, the Sanctum of Tides Temple, the Adventurers Refuge Guild Hall, and the Mariner's Haven Inn, which is where you guys had slept.
Mm. It's between the temple and the smithy.
Okay.
I'm not sure which one. It's been a while since I tapped into my celestial elders
You want to go to the temple?
for guidance, but it's also like I also kind of like am trying to branch out and try new things as well. But I'm like, I feel like at first I would kind of need some sort of guidance as to like what, like, I don't know, just like what the next path chosen should be, or just like what direction I should be going in, because it's like I don't want to just like, you know.
So do you want to go to the temple?
Sure.
Be pretty cool.
Okay.
Sure. I feel like that's not going to be very like entertaining or eventful for Jax though, because it's like, what is he going to do?
Verity didn't do anything really of substance when Ira
That's
went to the
true.
temple.
You let me handle that.
Okay.
So you head through the village of Bell, and you make your way over to the Sanctum of Tides Temple.
Mm-hmm.
The exterior of the temple is has all these adornments and kind of carvings and things dedicated to ocean deities and water spirits. It kind of features a lot of smooth stone walls embedded with seashells and a bell that kind of rings in the sea breeze, kind of up at the top in a kind of point at the very top of the temple.
Okay.
As you enter, the sanctum is arranged in a kind of like a circular fashion. There's a water pool in the center that reflects moonlight during the night, and statues of various deities line the walls, each surrounded by offerings and kind of altars. A human cleric with kind of this like intricate kind of seaweed tattoos and symbols all kind of all over their body kind of is seen kind of at different, is kind of like checking on different kind of altars as they notice you enter. And they approach you and say, hello, weary traveler. What brings you into our lovely sanctum today?
Yes, I'm looking to connect or to reach out to my celestial lineage, or I don't want to just say like elders, because it's like it just could be like, you know. But yeah, just looking to connect with my celestial lineage, and
do you know which deity to which that you are affiliated with?
No.
So you're a lost soul amidst this chaotic realm.
Aren't we all?
I'm sorry. Am I being perceived? I'm just really trying to connect to my people. I don't really know.
Well, I would love for you to connect with your people.
I
but,
would too.
Don't.
Yeah.
I can't tell you who your people are.
Okay. Lucio's trying to think really hard, like the Jimmy Neutron, like freaking
give me,
like the brain.
Give me a history check for me.
Okay, that's what I was. Yeah. And my history is a +2.
Or no, religion check. Sorry.
Whoa, okay. Huh?
Your ancestor's name is painfully obvious.
No. His celestial
Oh.
ancestors.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My religion and history are both the same modifier. It's +2. So it's a dirty 20.
Okay.
So
A dirty 20.
I gotta know.
She sits and ponders for a moment. And I think then she kind of notices the wings, and I believe that I can be of assistance. And she says follow me. And she walks you over to a altar of, it looks, the statue is very, it almost just seems like the statue of kind of this like gender ambiguous kind of figure that's kind of standing there, that has these like, they don't look like feathered wings. They almost look like these like kind of stone or like metallic adornments, or like what like you would see a stone version of a metal solid thing would look.
Mm-hmm.
And the she says, this is the god of dreams, Morpheum.
Morpheum.
I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of Asimers, if I am so bold as to understand your heritage, they a lot of their celestial patrons or ancestors provide guidance through dreams, visions. I would assume that would be connected to at least this deity in some way, and you can see a little bit of a resemblance, and she kind of like gestures to the like wings that are on
Gotcha.
his back, or their back. And she says, well, I would say you can pay homage, pray, meditate, however you so choose to connect with this deity. Maybe this is at least I am just trying to kind of guide you in this direction. This
Yeah, I appreciate it.
maybe this patron is not the one to which that speaks back to you, but there's certainly no shame in trying.
Okay. So I attempt to call to my celestial people,
Okay.
and I say, I'm not, dude, because I don't know like first names, so I'm like, I'm not really sure like which.
How do you try to either meditate, pray, commune with this type of like deity? If you are going to try to connect with Morpheum, I don't know if that's the one you so choose. There's like clearly other altars, but you can.
But I've been led to this one because it's perceivably of the most resemblance to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I close my eyes.
Okay.
And I'm sort of just like, Morpheum, if you can carry this message to my celestial lineage, I'm looking for guidance as to what is next, or what shall be next in my journey.
You hear silence. You just hear like the sounds of the temple for the moment. You hear like this like silence as you kind of cast this like mental message out. And you almost feel like this tug. It's almost like something's kind of like pulling like on your forehead, if that makes sense. It's like almost like it's not physically feeling that way, but you can feel something like pushing outward.
Right.
And you have this sort of, you kind of start having this out of body experience where you are seeing yourself standing in front of this altar.
Whoa.
And you are beginning to kind of drift into this dream kind of like weave scape that's like this like series of like almost like clouds of color amidst water. Like if you put like kind of dye into water and it kind of just like wisps around. That's kind of like all that's kind of floating through the sky as you're standing on this almost like flat level of like water, or like, and it feels like you're standing on water, but it's as thick as glass.
Yeah.
And it kind of just like kind of reverberates as you kind of take a few steps forward. In this part, your wings are glowing like a bright white.
Oh, wow.
And you kind of take a few steps for a moment before you see kind of through this like kind of colored weave that like this massive like body and like torso of face kind of just like kind of moves forward. Or kind of stands up in this like distance and kind of like almost coming out of the horizon. And you see kind of almost like a silverish blue kind of skinned, has like eyes like glowing white, like hot, like just eyes. The face looks familiar. You remember a face that you saw very early on in your adventures. You had a dream much like this, but in a different life. There was something that gave you purpose. And it was something that warned you of something that was threatening the realm, but it feels like eons ago. And you feel this almost like strings kind of like attached to the back of you. And as you look over your shoulder, as kind of like some of the strings start to tug, you see an image kind of in this like, almost like one of those like 3D drawings where it's kind of like the lines are connecting to the next shape and then it connects to the next shape. Your lineage, almost as if it's a timeline of your ancestors, the people that came before you, your family, but of you specifically, you in different lives. And you see Luciel Oliver the First.
And I'm just like, dude, I am like absolutely, I'm like, oh my goodness. What is this? What could this be?
And this face that, and the kind of like towering god that is standing there is this almost embodiment of the statue that you were standing in front of. And it looks down upon you with this like almost like laser kind of focus and says, "You half-breed."
Whoa.
Neither celestial
me?
nor
Me?
mortal. Those caught in between.
Yeah. Hi. Hey.
Why do you call upon me?
Who are you?
I am Morpheum, and what brings you to my domain?
I do not mean to disturb you by any means, Morpheum, but I am on a journey in which I've come to a not a crossroads, but just kind of more or less a question as to what shall be next in my and my knowledge and learning and my what I am called to do.
And you see this like whoosh, like of like the sound of like rushing, like as this like his massive hand kind of like raises up, and it like slams against the horizon in front of you, and it kind of like ripples this like ground. And there's
like
you see in front of you now like these strings protruding forward from you. And it cascades off into the distance, kind of leading towards him.
What is this? What are these strings?
You feel this like connection to the chain behind you of the different like and you see in front of you these lines are connecting to something in like often like a very small tiny vantage point. And behind you, as you kind of like, again, you're assessing this like connection, you're looking behind you, and behind you, you see kind of coming out of the horizon, behind you, there is this like blue, like explosion of energy that is growing and kind of like enveloping the horizon behind you. And
oh no.
Morpheum says,
no.
"You are to stop what is coming." And you see, as you kind of look off into this vantage point, a massive blue energy eruption in front of you.
Oh, and Luke Heel does not know what that is.
You do not.
Oh no.
And you see there's this kind of like almost like gold kind of astral projection of your body.
Oh, geez.
And it's in front of you, and there's this. It looks a lot like you, but there's a difference in the armor that you're wearing, and there's this hefty like bow and arrow attached to the back of you, amidst like kind of like making like an X on your back with your loot. And you can see that you look battle scarred, and he says, "Go forth and stop the pending apocalypse."
But what does it mean?
Well, that's the part of the journey. And he like his hand like whooshes down and then like flicks you, and you kind of like float back in this like, and you are back in your body in this temple.
Oh my gosh. And then he's just like looking around. He's like, Jax, where are you? Are you here? Are you still?
You see Jax meditating at a different temple, one of the altars in the temple.
About how far away is he from me?
I'd say about like 15, 20 feet.
Okay. I don't run to him, but I like do like a brisk like walk like, Jax, hey, kind of like sit down next to him.
Okay.
If he, I guess I would assume he's sitting.
Yeah.
When he's meditating.
He kind of like opens his eyes. And I would say you see him sitting in front of this deity patron type that's like kind of a changeling kind of favor as far as like a god and stuff, or what would be assumed to be known as the god of many forms. And it is he kind of like opens his eyes and kind of like he's like, are you all right? And I'm not gonna lie, Cole is very much sitting like kind of cross-legged, like next to or whatever what a squirrel's like kind of legs would do. Continue.
I feel a bit alarmed. You know when they say you know, to be careful what you wish for?
Yeah.
I wish I would have thought about that before I had looked for a bit further insight, because I'm not really sure what to make of the experience I just had or the information I just got from what it was all very vague, but it was intense and just vibrant and yeah, I feel like this is a thing that I would probably want to explain also to the rest of everybody as well. I wouldn't want to just like, I feel like, you know, I don't want to really have to repeat all of it. I feel like it'd be better to just kind of
100% valid.
Yeah, but it's kind of a lot to say the least. How about you? Have you found anything through your? It looks like you and Cole are meditating here. I hope you've.
Yeah, I figured I would connect to my kind of racial heritage, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
There's not much connection that I have with a lot of things of this realm, but it seems that in some capacities there are, you know, folks who understand changelings, I guess. I'm just trying to make sense of all of this in a way.
Fair enough.
But dude, are you okay? Like, do we need to go?
I feel like, yeah, I would say so. But if you need more time, like feel free. Like, it is not like,
to be honest, nothing was happening. I'm good. Like, we can go.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You know, I honestly didn't expect anything to happen. I just figured I would just shoot in the dark here.
Gotcha. Yeah. Man, like, I feel like there's like it's pressing, and I want to tell the others like right now, but like it's also, I don't feel like that's like this is the only it's like place I'm trying to be right now. I actually had an idea in mind for you. If you perchance wanted to, you know, entertain the smithy.
Yeah, we can go to the blacksmith. I'm not.
I had an idea for you for something.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's kind of cool. I don't know if you'll really be into it. It kind of, for me, it seemed like your style. Like, it seemed like it'd be a cool thing, but I'm not really. We'll just have to see. So,
well, lead the way. And kind of gets up off the ground,
and we leave the temple with you know.
Okay.
Not wasting any time or energy to get on out of there.
And you see the like the cleric person that you were talking to, kind of like, it's like sitting, like kneeling at like a one of the altars, and kind of like looks and is kind of like smirking just a little bit. That you made like some type of connection.
And I look over and I'm like, yeah, that was that, yeah, yep, yep, that was the one. Thanks. We might see you again, maybe not.
Happy to help anytime.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean it was, yeah. Let's Jax, let's get out of here.
All right, so you leave the temple. Meanwhile, Ira and Dawn head off to the docks.
That was not what I was fucking expecting at all for any of that.
If you interact with different scenes, the DM will give you some candy.
Now you have a deity to fuck with you in your sleep like the rest of us.
Dawn is not joining the fuckery.
No, you just get abducted by a tree.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Was the muse with me the whole with like the?
We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Oh.
So the two of you head down to the docks. There's still like a lot of like soldier presence down there, as it's only been like a few, like maybe like an hour or two, and there is there's kind of like a line kind of like stopping like at the docks, like stopping people from kind of going down towards like the ships and stuff that are in the harbor. How do you approach?
She still has her adventurance
Okay.
badge out, and just, her and Dawn she just bypasses and just goes to the front.
He said, how do you approach? And we said, guns a-blazing.
Guns a-blazing, indeed. So you head off to, you kind of approach these people, and the guards, they see you like approaching very diligently, and they're like, halt! No entry beyond this point.
Halt!
No civilians down the docks. We are still conducting an investigation on this, that there was an incident overnight we're dealing with.
Dawn rolls her eyes.
Good things.
Lightly.
Lightly.
Good thing we aren't civilians.
He notices like the adventurance amulet and says, well, this is of course a Beville matter.
I spoke to one of your commanding officers earlier. He was going to let me know when I came back a few hours later whether or not I can get eyes on the crime scene.
And he kind of looks back over towards like there's kind of like the kind of catwalk that connects to the ship. There is there's a kind of there's a Kenku kind of in a bit of like a duster kind of coat standing at the catwalk.
Are there multiple Kenkus? Do we have a murder of crows?
No, it's just one.
I have an
Is that what they're called?
Multiple crows together called a murder?
Sure.
Do Kenku in this world have Kenku D&D lore, or do they are just birds?
Elaborate.
Because Kenku D&D lore is that they can only repeat phrases that they've heard.
No, this is more
they're just
so
like bird dudes. Okay.
Pro people, yeah.
Gotcha.
A little bit more of a homebrew on that one.
Just wanted to clarify.
Because I think there's Kenku and there might be crow folk, so maybe that's what I'm kind of more leaning towards with crow folk. But regardless, this is kind of essentially like a raven in like a kind of leather duster coat, very like formally like kind of dressed in the kind of has like a
detective-y vibe.
Detective-y vibe, has like a notebook in his hand, and is kind of like scribbling some things with a quill into it. And he kind of like waves, like kind of like gestures to the guard with his hand, and again, and the guard's like, and he kind of like steps by to let you pass.
Yeah, so we approach.
Okay, so you head on down to the catwalk, and there is So it seems we have an adventurant in the town of Beville.
Yes, Iraton, and this is my colleague Don Hartsmead.
Is she your bodyguard?
Can I like stretch my muscles and like my shoulder and like my leather and like armor kind of like you hear it stretch and
Kind of like the creak of like leather as you're
yeah, and like do
Okay. Yeah.
I want to roll for intimidation.
Yeah, go ahead and roll for intimidation.
Mm.
It's only 13. But I still wanted to do that.
Okay, with the 13, it's a presence, but it's not like he doesn't seem to be like phased or anything.
No quiver.
I do more protecting of her than she does of me.
I can
Damn, okay.
I can see that.
Fuck
Anyway.
you guys.
What do you know of the scene so far? I'm not particularly interested in taking over the investigation. I'm just trying to gather some.
I would say not. This is a Beville jurisdiction, and we don't need any adventurers sticking their nose in it.
I am currently on a cross-continental journey with myself and my party, so it's important that I take note of murders so I can identify a pattern if there is one.
Especially on
And,
the ship that we were traveling on.
So you were traveling on this ship.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We
And
arrived
you,
early.
write something in the.
We arrived early in
Oh.
the evening.
And if I'm not mistaken, that the adventurance pendant there, that's of a training officer, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct?
Gotcha. Come this way.
Oh, it's like taking in for questioning. Oh shit.
Fucking guy.
So he
Higher rank than he is.
he brings you in back up to the ship that you're very much familiar with. And you see that kind of like there are different guards kind of, and like a lot of the crew is they've stopped what they're doing. They haven't really like been loading or unloading or whatever. They're just kind of like sitting there with the guards. And he brings you down below deck, and as he's kind of like you guys are walking down these steps, he says, the name's Cravensworth. Figured I forgot to introduce myself, but there's a lot of going on, you can understand. And you guys walk down into kind of this the hull of the ship, and he escorts you to kind of this one of the quarters of, and you see there's as you enter the quarters, it's kind of like taped off, and there's like the bodies like very much in the bed, and like there's kind of some other more of like not guard like armored guards, but more of like kind of like similar detective vibes that are kind of like there. And you see as you kind of notice, first thing you glance around the room and stuff, that there's a lot of like maps and different like instruments that would be used to kind of discern directions, and you assess that this is the navigator's quarters of the ship.
First thing she's going to look for is just gonna look around the environment. You know, I know that they've already done like a scan, but does it look like they've started to like acquire and like remove evidence from the space? Has anything looked moved
They're
or
just surveying
touched?
the scene a lot right now. From what it looks like, there is like one of these like detectives is kind of using a little bit of like detect magic or kind of different things as kind of some spells to kind of get a lay of what's like around the body and stuff.
Is there a pool of blood around the body on the floor?
Not as much as you would think.
Is there any?
So because he's on a bed and like the mattress, it's kind of like soaked up a little bit of it, but there's not like it's like especially with a blow to where it was, there isn't there's like blood around where the instrument like was inserted to commit the murder, but there isn't like there's no blood behind it. There's only blood that's kind of trickled off the top that's kind of gone a little bit around it, but there's not much.
She's gonna pull out like a basically like a hanky and just like put it over her like face, like mouth and face.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna go up to the body and she's gonna
Whoa!
she's gonna inspect.
Take it easy.
She's gonna inspect regardless. She's gonna inspect the like incision.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to see like the size of it. Does
Roll
it look
investigation
weird?
check.
Does it look? This is gonna be shit because my dice are like fuck you.
While she does this, I want to cast magic awareness.
Okay, not bad. The 16 minus 2 plus 4, so it's an 18 total.
18 total. You see that there was it was a very quick insert. There was a quick separation of the sternum as it entered.
Damn.
It went straight in through the rib cage and straight into the heart itself.
How strong was this person?
And
You realize how hard that is to get through the sternum?
the blade width is about 3 inches in width, and there is kind of blood around on the clothes and stuff that he was wearing, but it's a very small blood spot, almost as if the way the blood exuded from this spot, it's as if the blood flow in the body stopped instantly once after a certain short period of time, so that way the blood that would have kind of been circulating through the body and would have exuded out of the body at this moment or this incision point, that it looks odd given the circumstances, because blood would normally kind of continue to leak out of a body as it drains from the veins and stuff. It seemed as if all energy, movement, anything of all this kind of seemed to have stopped.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
Just for funsies. See what it turns up.
There is there's no magic in the body. And your magical awareness is just picking up the fact that people are using magic to do the same thing, is to figure out what. The body is very much cold. It's blue. There's this kind of almost a paleness to the skin, almost indicating that there was kind of almost a rapid decay of it. Normally, a corpse would stay warm for a certain amount of time after a murder, but this was very it's been cold, and kind of rigor mortis is set in very, very quickly.
Which is not normal. It's abnormal.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said,
He's been cold for too long.
Yeah, based on I've watched too many crime shows. Based on that's why I don't know any of this, because it sounds way too specific. The way that a body as it's killed would stay warm for a certain amount of time because of the normal blood flow, the heat, and things that are normally kept within cells and stuff like that. This seems as if all of that was quickly just turned off.
So I'm not picking up, this is to the detective, I'm not picking up anything normal about this. I'm not detecting any magic, any of that, but what is your team thinking?
And he kind of looks over at the other detectives and takes an adventurer to figure that out.
She rolls her eyes and ignores him, and then just
Dawn Ozid rolls her eyes.
and then just presses. What is your team thinking?
This is abnormal for sure. This seemed to be a bit of an rapid, just almost as if this person was just dead in an instant. There's no lifelessness. There's no life going out of it. There was no way for us to use speak to the dead, anything any type of necromancy spell. There was nothing. There was no soul in this body whatsoever. It was just gone. This is just a meat husk at this point.
Well, this was a person. This was a very nice person, so we're not going to call him a meat husk.
Dawn is a little sad. Her shoulders are hunched. She's not happy. She doesn't.
I also envision Dawn as taking up 90% of the available space in this
That is
room.
100% factual.
Okay, well, I'll be in town. Do you know if the ship will be allowed to leave tomorrow night or not?
We'll respectfully dispose of the body, and this crew has a job to do. You're gonna mourn their. It seems like from what we interviewed from a lot of these people that this was a hired navigator. He hasn't been with this crew for very long.
It was very nice, though.
That's great. Good to know. So they, they're going to do their job. They're going to mourn him however they need to. And the ship's going to move on and do its business. Everybody's got to job to do, things carry on, you know. You see a lot of stuff like this, and well, not like this, just, you know, in general when you do the job.
Word of the wise on these cases. This was a person. This person did matter. This person does matter. So your crassness towards the end of his life is disrespectful to him and his memory. So regardless of how many of these you do, maybe approach it with a little more tact.
I'm sorry my bedside manner isn't, you know, take it up with my chief. And he kind of like...
Let me
puffs.
guess. You're the chief.
No, I just said take it up with my chief. What are these doing? What do they train these adventurers with? Jeez. God.
Dawn wants to leave, and she like shoves him out. Like she shoulder checks him out of the
Well-
way. I mean, be more of a hip check.
So you
but
just... So, for, like, layout purposes, he's in the middle of the room where the bed is, kind of where Ira is, and the door is behind you. So are you just shoving this person and then turning around to walk out of the room, or...
yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna do like a circle move to like instead of turning, I'm just gonna like take steps like around myself and like bump into it and then leave.
Okay.
And I want to go talk to the chef.
The chef? Okay.
Yeah. Bronsel? Is that his name?
Let me look at the... It is... Brobzel.
Brobzel. The fact that I even got letters on my page with these names is amazing.
So you venture off towards the kitchen to your best recollection as far as the layout of the ship. I would assume Ira needs to go with you to give you free reign at this point.
Which is fine. That's
kind
fine.
of locked down in the ship.
It's fine.
So
I would
you,
assume she'd be consoling Alyer a bit because he would not probably be okay with seeing a dead body for the first time.
Oh,
In that way.
For the first time.
In that way.
okay. I was going to say, he's kind of... You murdered a couple people.
He's always in the box, though.
I don't know. The whole time you were in Bonifolia, he was out for a good majority of the time. Anyway, so you head off to the kitchen, and you see that there's like a couple of guards kind of stationed just outside the door, and through the like chef's window kind of thing, you see like Brobzel kind of just like taking a like cabbage. He's kind of just like tossing it up and down like a head of cabbage.
What's his name again? Bronzel?
Brob.
Honey.
Brobzal.
Brobzel.
Brobzel.
There you go.
And so yeah, so like, and the guards aren't blocking the door. They're just on either side of it, just kind of in this.
Can I go
area.
in? I'll just go in.
Yeah, you can just go in. Yeah.
Let him in.
Or Ira waves her badge and like kind of like lets you in and stuff.
What's up, Brob?
Brobzel.
Nope. No end to that.
Hello. I didn't expect to see you back here.
Yeah, we heard some stuff went down last night.
Yeah, it's sad. Petterin's gone, and I can't even cook for people. It's kind of a lockdown situation, to be honest. Things are slow enough around here. It's kind of crazy.
Did you see anything last night? Hear anything?
No, I sleep kind of like a log. I don't, the guys give me crap for snoring a lot. It's, it's like a foghorn. I can't.
You got a leghorn in there somewhere?
Oh my god.
I have a leg of corn in here, I think.
I didn't get that joke.
Foghorn, leghorn?
Like the Looney Tunes
Old Looney
character.
Tune. Yeah.
Damn.
We'll let it pass.
I saw a murder in here.
Oh.
There you go. That
Yup.
clicked.
Yeah.
The southern chicken. Anyway.
Rooster.
Rooster, yeah.
You were asleep. Slept.
Yeah, that was his response.
Yeah. Did anybody else hear anything? See anything?
I mean, they asked the crew some things. I've been down here the whole time. I don't really, I just want to make food. I don't want to lift any boxes. They try to get me to do that. They're not gonna I get paid to do one job. They're not gonna fool me to do other stuff.
Right. No, I get it.
I lift food. I don't lift crates.
Right. No, yeah, totally.
What about crates of food?
No, they bring that in here. I don't do that.
Do you have any berries or anything?
Dawn, we just ate.
It's not for me.
Is it for Oyer?
Yeah.
Because he just ate too. He's full. Look at him. His little belly's all swollen. He's bloated.
Never mind. I'll go fuck myself then.
Just don't do it in my kitchen, Yeah, I mean, if you want some berries really bad, I got some over here, if it's...
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
There you go. Sorry your friends mean to you. A lot of people
Takes
are mean
berries,
to me, too.
looks at Ira, and shoves them in her mouth. And she walks out.
Trust me, I get it. Come back and see me anytime. It's good seeing you.
See you tomorrow.
Will I? Okay. Sure.
Aren't we leaving tomorrow?
Do you know what the departure time is yet?
As far as they tell me that's what the thing is, I don't know.
Great.
That's above my pay grade.
Catch you tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
Sure.
I'm coming back for this man.
Have we left the room?
Yeah, I would assume you guys had left.
Was he drunk? Because I asked what time is departure, and he's like, I guess so.
You didn't hear? That man doesn't do anything but one thing. He cooks.
He does food.
Food, and that's it. Departure? Nay. Landing? Nay.
Sorry, I was mad about the berries.
Yeah.
Well, not mad, but mean.
They were
Look at
delicious,
him,
by the
though.
way.
He's eating so good. He's getting fat.
No, it's better. He'll fill out his armor, and then, there'll be no, ricochet.
He barely
if he gets,
fits.
If he gets hit or something like that, it'll just
That's not how that works.
bounce right off.
That's not how that works.
How does it work with me? Why do you think I drink so much beer?
I'm the one spending damn near all of our combat experience keeping you up.
Yeah.
Are you guys walking out of the ship?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
talking? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Anyone else you want to talk to?
No.
This was a bust.
No, I don't think so.
Why not? What do you feel like?
Because now we have stuff. I have a hunch, but I'm going to keep it to myself for a while.
Oh. Dawn looks you up and down and is like, lifts her eyebrow. She's like, okay,
Don't do that.
you do that.
It makes me feel weird.
Yeah. You should feel weird, Miss Mysterious.
And not in a fun way.
What?
Miss Mystic over here. I'm going to keep it to
Not
myself.
the face. DM is making a face right now.
All right. So where are you two headed?
Library.
You're heading to the library. Where are Verity and Eliana heading at this moment?
Why, Blue?
Library.
Why, Blue?
Okay.
What, Booby?
And you and Jax are going to look for the rest of, or you're going to the smith.
We're going to the blacksmith.
Going
Yeah.
to the smith.
Yep.
Okay.
The smithy.
All right. So you head off to the smith.
Mm-hmm.
So Jax and Lukiel head to the smithy.
Yep.
Um.
Sounds like Smitty.
Smitty Werben Jensen. So you approach the Iron Ember Smithy. This fortified stone smithy features kind of iron reliefs of hammers, shields, and armor. The forge chimney constantly is emitting like a steady steam stack. Got like some enchanted smoke that smells faintly of like oak and cedar as you kind of approach. As you walk into the building that's kind of attached to this, like what you would think that like the forge is kind of in the back area. This is like the shop kind of front area.
Yeah.
The walls are lined with an impressive array of weapons and armor, some simple and some functional, others more ornate and enchanted. The main forge you can kind of see it in like the back, like there's like a doorway leading to the back. There's kind of like this blue glow. The forge glowing like a little bit of a blue fire. And there's like kind of like this like stones that like are at the bottom of the hearth. They kind of look like they're kind of enchanted, kind of giving it that heat. There's a dwarven man with a hefty beard, kind of like standing behind or kind of comes out from the back as you guys enter, kind of almost like one of those like ding like bells on the door as you guys walk in. And he comes out and he says, he has like this like kind of dragon scale mail kind of armor on, and and it's like got like this like blacksmith apron kind of over it. He says, "Oi, what can I do for you? Welcome to the Iron Ember Smithy."
Yes, hello. My name is Lukiel, and my friend here,
Dern Stone Shield. Well, it's welcome to the shop.
Yeah.
Your friend here. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no.
You were introducing yourself. I figured I'd do the same. Sorry.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you. Yeah, this is my friend Jax here.
I was gonna be. Please interrupt him again.
Nice to meet you. The name's Dern Stone Shield. Welcome to the Iron Ember Smithy. What can I do for you?
How does Jax respond?
Like, hi, like, what's up?
So we were just at the temple in town.
Yeah, the temple.
Yeah, but so I had the idea that I am kind of looking for a particular set of things for my friend here, Jax. Do you, by chance...
Oh, we got a lot of things here. There's a lot of different stuff. It just depends on what you're looking for.
Right. So what I'm looking for is not necessarily traditional.
We do that too.
In what would be en masse. So...
Like in a church?
No. Just like widely and massively produced as far as just what would be usually
produced. Okay, all right. I see what you're doing there. Okay.
Yes. Do you by chance specialize in making any armor for hands or fingers, such as like I'm kind of looking for like
I got plenty of gloves around here. I can fashion some of those for you if you need those.
Not necessarily gloves. I was more thinking, do you guys like have brass knuckles?
You're gonna have to elaborate a little on that.
Or
lad.
even if they're iron, I mean, it doesn't have to be brass, but just like kind of, it's essentially a metal bar across your knuckles with finger holes for each finger. Usually about 4. 4 fingers excluding your thumb on each hand.
I guess I could craft something like that. That's kind of seems a bit of a custom order.
That's what I kind of meant by it isn't really traditional. So I was a bit hesitant to ask, but I figured I would.
What would a fellow like you want to do with something like that?
Well, it's not for me, sir. It's for my friend here.
Oh yeah, he seems like he could wield something like that. That makes more sense.
Yes, exactly. I actually am looking for. Oh shoot! Hold on, 1 second. I'm actually looking for a. I'm not exactly sure if you would specialize in things like bows.
I make some bows from time to time. I got, I do get a little bit crafty with the wood sometimes. You put a string in there, you got a bow.
Maybe not so much a wooden bow, but potentially maybe a...
Well, you can't really have a metal bow, lad. It doesn't really bend like that. You're not gonna get the same, from it.
Not even like steel? Or like like kind
Steel
of like
doesn't bend.
lighter, like well, just
Are you a little bent, lad? That seems
We love a charismatic character.
yeah, just kind of a bow. I'm just been kind of looking to getting into using it, just kind of.
I forget the English implications of that word. I apologize in advance.
That would be in retrospect, not in advance.
In retrospect, yeah, sorry. That too.
Yeah, just looking
Yeah,
for.
I got bows. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just can't give you a metal bow. It doesn't the physics don't work on that.
Yeah, I mean whatever works. It's kind of just I'm just looking to get into it. It doesn't have to be like fancy,
Oh yeah,
Could
I
just
can
be
make
like-
it fancy.
like,
I can make it simple. It's kind of based off your preference. I'm not gonna decline one either way.
Yeah, I'd say maybe about like an intermediate level. Maybe not so much like something that's like cheaply entry level beginner, but something that's a little bit nicer to kind of get accustomed to.
And just to be clear, it's not gonna be metal.
If you say that it's not, then it won't. So yeah, no, it will
Okay,
not
I
be.
just want to make sure you know that because
Okay.
it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't.
I love this NPC. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's gonna take some time to craft your little hand things.
A question for you: do you have any experience with running into or having any ranger folk approaching your premises of your blacksmithing?
I mean, people of all different types of expertise come in here. To be quite honest, I try not to run into anything. I kind of
more or
spatial
less-
awareness is key.
Yeah, I'm like running into a fucking wall.
Welcome to
Yeah,
Era's
I'm
life.
kind of just like looking for do you know what they would usually be looking for from what you'd be crafting?
A lot of people come in here a lot. I don't try to keep track of a lot of that things. It's
No?
kind of just whatever the beat of the drum that you dance to, I guess.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that we are content with our selection of what we are looking for. So yeah.
So you want a non-metal bow. And you want metal, welded together rings, I guess. With a bore on the inside or on the outside.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even know if this guy would even have fucking arrows, or if they'd just be simple arrows.
Are you proficient with a bow and arrow?
I think so.
Uh,
It should say at the bottom, I believe. Bottom left
so I'm
of your
just
character sheet.
yeah.
Your weapons? It's a simple weapon, I think.
Yeah, it's, proficiency in simple weapons.
I think civil weapons considered as a short bow is considered that, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Because both of Era's bows are short bows.
All of us typing in simple words. Sorry.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, sweet. So yes, you would ask him for a short bow.
Okay.
And, some arrows.
Glad that I prepared myself so well to be able to really know what I was going to be asking him for. But yeah, we know now.
To be quite honest, and I will give this in all fairness, I'm throwing you guys a lot of curveballs with these NPCs
yeah,
tonight.
for
I'm not
sure.
even gonna lie.
Yeah. It's been a lot.
But we're here for it. Okay, so do you want to ask him if he has arrows, and if you need to specify if it needs to be a short or a long bow?
Yes. Yeah, so I think that, looking for more or less a short bow to be potentially crafted, and
Well, size doesn't necessarily matter, but for your case, I'll make sure that it's a short bow for you.
gotcha. And
Do you need arrows?
do you have a variety of arrows, or is it just kind of simple, just kind of run of the mill, just arrows?
I mean, I'm not gonna attach anything fancy to it. If that's what you're asking, you're gonna have to do that yourself.
Not necessarily, just anything that would be.
I guess
potential.
well, part of the arrow could be metal. You wanted something metal on it.
The tip of there. Yeah, just something that would have like any sort of electrifying or magical sort of properties to it. Maybe I'm not exactly
you're gonna
sure
have
if that
to
would be.
find somebody else for that. I can give you the arrows, then you gotta figure out enchanting them yourself. I can't do that.
Do you know as to where what general direction I should be heading to try to do that?
I mean, anywhere but here, I guess. I don't.
Okay. I think we've made our.
So you
our
need a
selection.
short bow and some arrows,
and a set of
and the set of the
metal-
welded rings.
metal knuckles. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it's gonna take a bit to get the hand things crafted there. As far as a short bow is concerned, and he kind of you see him kind of go behind the counter. You hear like a very much like a rummaging through different things. He's like, oh god, he's like kind of cursing to himself, like, oh, boss, these dumb boxes. And he kind of goes like back. He kind of like gets up from behind the counter. He kind of like stands kind of up a little bit. And then he kind of goes around into the door of the forge, and you hear like a bunch of like metal and things like clanging around, like different things falling, and and he's like, "Whoa, busted! God damn it!" And then he comes back out. He's like, "Oh, yeah," and he has like this, brings out like a short bow. It's made with this like rich kind of mahogany, kind of like a dark brown. Has some kind of very much like a braided kind of engraved or braided carved inlay on both sides, and there's like a stern rubber leather handle in the middle, and like a very tight like string on the bow. And he says, "Oh, I got this short bow here for you," and he kind of like slaps like a quiver of arrows like down on the. He got your arrows here. So that's. Just for that, it's going to be pretty, I don't do steep prices around here. If you want to, you can just give me like 5 gold and I say it's yours. I'm not going to be a stickler about it.
Fair enough.
Arrows included, do it as a little bit of a package deal.
Okay.
Plus, I'm sick of tripping over the fucking arrows anyway.
And by chance, what would be the price of the metal rings?
I think that's going to be a bit
custom.
of a parts and labor situation. I'm going to have to get back to you once I'm finished.
Okay. Yeah. We'll do the. I'll do the exchange for the bow at the moment, and then we'll converse later about the metal.
Sounds
rings.
good. I look forward to it. You've been you're a delight. It's been great talking with you.
Oh well, thank you. You as well.
It's a good respite from all the fucking clanging. I'll tell you that.
I can
Gotta
believe
give me
it.
some fucking earplugs or something.
Yeah. What are those?
Things you put in your ears, lad.
Oh, okay.
You know, it plugs up the ears. I think it's in the name, yeah.
Cool.
Just be
yeah.
careful with this bow and arrow. He kind of makes like a wide-eyed look at us.
Here's the 5 gold. And then I'm gonna remove 5 gold from my.
Yep. And then I'll put a short bow and arrows in your inventory.
Gotcha.
Cool. So you get that, and what do you do?
Just kind of admiring just the what do you call it? The
Craftsmanship.
kind of the intricate craftsmanship and the designing in the wood, the kind of the darker mahogany and sort of that design that's there, and also just the quality of like the leather and everything. It's just very, very nice. And it's also just kind of sort of foreign. It's like if you pick up like it's a musical instrument or something that's like super nice and like ornate, and you're like, oh wow, like this, I don't know anything, like, but it feels just nice. It feels like something that's like was well crafted. So
Made with love.
Yeah. So you kind of will get familiar with that as you get to train with it and all that kind of stuff.
Which I feel like it would be a lot of fun to partner up with Ira.
Yeah.
To do that. Maybe
a little bit of a blast from the past on that one.
Mayhaps.
So you take the bow and you exit. You leave the smithy at that point.
Is that in my?
I haven't put it in there yet. I'm gonna put it in there in a minute.
Okay, no worries. Take your time.
So do you take the bow and you guys leave the smithy, or?
Well, I mean, we're kind of still like, I would assume we're still like meandering around the kind of. We're not like leaving because he's still like having to craft the metal.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a minute.
So you're gonna need to come back.
You're gonna need to come back. Yeah. It's not like he can just do it in like 5 minutes or.
And so with the smithy being where it is, where would that be in? I guess they're all just at the boat essentially, or at the dock area.
Or I'll head into the library.
Okay.
Was it explained that that's where you guys were going to go
Yes.
afterwards?
Yes.
Okay, so you would know that. So
Okay.
the library is within like the area you guys are. You're like it's within that part of the town. as far
Okay,
as where the
so
business is.
we'll partner up with everybody at the library.
So you will head off to the library in Beville, and we will see that in the next episode.
No.
So, thank you so much for all of you out there listening. It has been such a pleasure, and hope you enjoyed all the silly little voices and antics that this group has gotten up to in Beville, and making Verity's visit to her hometown just so much more fun. We thank you again, Pocketbard. Always a blessing to have these wonderful ambient tones, and we will see you in session 67.
Bye.